Good evening, Dr. Ishaku, and thank you for your time.
Good evening, Ladi.
What do you make of day one today? What has been your impression of what has happened in the various sectors today, the first formal day of the easing of the lockdown?
I can categorically tell you that the compliance level is zero. And this is because, as a nation, we underestimated the reactions of Nigerians. And Nigerians have exhausted their capacity, and so they have to react. And so what I expected is that I did not expect full compliance. This is because even the framework for our enforcement is chaotic in nature. And you know that by default, as a country and as a people, we are not a disciplined nation. So what I saw today was just an affirmation of my assumptions that the level of compliance is zero. That brings to bear that we have to look at the causal factors, which to me, I can term it into three factors, which is poverty, which is lack of transparency in governance, that leads to our decayed infrastructure, because you can't lock down people and then you cannot be able to provide the basic needs for them. And also, the third factor, which is the causal factor, is the level of education. So by and large, these are the causal factors that we need to look into and not the leading factors. So I expect by now we should be able to have community surveillance system in place. I was also thinking that we can have COVID-19 community marshal, where we can revitalize our community health extension workers that can be able to go into communities and begin to do community communication or public health community communications. I was expecting that we can be able to have this co-marshal, COVID-19 surveillance marshal, that can be able to identify people that are in need, essential needs of commodities, and then we begin to attend to them and begin to give out palliatives. I was also expecting that our banks can be able to devise strategy that we can be able to maintain social distancing. So what stops our banks from making people to have appointment through their apps? What stops our banks from creating a framework that people can be able to text their account number with a code, and then they get an appointment time for them to be able to get access into the banks? What stops us also from having mobile ATM machines where we can also be able to maintain social distancing? By now, I'm expecting that we should have mobile ATM where people can be able to withdraw their monies and also be able to deposit their monies. So this, by and large, we need to come up with a framework. But as a people, we are not a disciplined nation. So I expect zero compliance. Ladi, let me assure you that if we ease this lockdown, we are going to have an exponential rise in the number of cases of COVID-19. So because we have created an ecosystem to drive this process.
Dr. Ishaku, because of our time, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We'll, of course, invite you back at some other point to expatiate on this and some of the other issues as we gradually monitor the gradual easing down of this lockdown. Thank you once again for your time. Dr. Ishaku from our Abuja studios.